What to do when someone passes away? When someone passes away, there are many tasks to complete. Notifications must be sent, funeral arrangements made, important documents obtained, taxes settled, and the deceased's affairs must be managed. The Canadian government website is an excellent starting point. It provides an online questionnaire that generates a personal to-do list based on a few simple prompts. You can access the personal checklist at canada.ca/en/services/death.html. What should be done immediately? 1. Locate the will. A will is a legal document that outlines a person's wishes regarding the distribution of their property after death and designates an executor to manage the property until it is finally distributed. If there is no will or an executor has not been named, refer to the estate law of the provincial or territorial government where the person died. 2. Funeral arrangements. A funeral is a ceremony or service held after a person's death and will usually include the person's burial or cremation. The will may specify the funeral arrangements that the deceased wished to have. If not, you should contact a funeral director to plan the arrangements. In most of Canada, funeral homes and crematoriums must provide a detailed cost breakdown of all their products and services. 3. Proof of death. You can use a statement of death or a death certificate as proof of death. The funeral home issues a statement of death, and the province issues a death certificate. The statement of death is sufficient in most situations to notify the federal government of a death. Who should be contacted to inform them of a death, and how can an individual's benefits be cancelled? 1. Social Insurance Number, SIN. When a death occurs in a Canadian province, the Vital Statistics Agency automatically notifies the SIN program. If the death occurs in a territory or outside Canada, you must inform the SIN program. 2. Canada Revenue Agency, CRA. Contact the CRA to avoid any repayment situations for benefits. Even if the deceased was not receiving benefit payments, you should report the date of death. 3. Canada Pension Plan and Old Age Security. If the deceased individual received CPP or OAS benefits, these must be cancelled as soon as possible. Benefits are payable for the month the death occurs. Benefits received after that must be repaid. Make sure to apply for the CPP death benefit for $2,500 and see if you qualify for the CPP survivor's pension. 4. Employment insurance. If the deceased received or was eligible to receive employment insurance, contact Employment and Social Development Canada. 5. Credit reporting agencies. Contact the credit reporting agencies Equifax and TransUnion in Canada to notify them of the death. This will help avoid fraudulent credit checks in the deceased person's name. 6. Canada Post. Contact Canada Post to forward the mail of an individual who died to a new address. If the individual who died had a passport and it is still valid, you should mail it to the Passport Program Office in Gatineau, Quebec. Include a copy of the death certificate and a letter with your preference of destroying the cancelled passport or having it returned to you. Finally, you need to plan and file tax returns. This may involve preparing tax returns and closing a business and its related accounts. Next, you will have to apply for a clearance certificate. A clearance certificate confirms that the estate of a person who died has paid all amounts of income tax and GST and HST, interest and penalties, or that the Minister of National Revenue has accepted security for the payment. A clearance certificate allows the executor to distribute assets without risking being personally responsible for unpaid amounts the deceased might owe to the CRA.